Welcome to the Big Biz Show.
Taking care of business.
You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we welcome you to another edition of the Big Biz Show. We are live from the Loft 100 studios here in Southern California. The Day Trader Quattro, they are on stage. They are ready. We heard them warming up. It's always a treat that we get to sit here and listen to them do their thing every single episode back here at the bar. Mary Godwin and Costa, there is no Sully today. And normally I make a crack about, well, his eye fell out. He had to go to the eye doctor. But this is a guy who hosts this show. He writes music, he makes music videos. Sullivan is extremely popular. They're all over the country playing it anytime, anywhere. And he literally is just taking a day off. He gets a day off.
He gets that.
Yeah. And so my only complaint is...
We actually have a good time when he's not here. Yes.
We really do, because nobody likes him. So I'll be honest with you. Yeah, we have a...
Oh, gosh.
I think, Mary, it's only fair to ask that when it's a Nunya, just you and I, we call it Nunya business, that we need our own open. Just you and I.
We do.
And the band.
Yes.
And everybody who works here and no Sully. I think that's the least.
Do we have our special song for that?
Yeah. And the Day Trader Quattro can come up with a song for us for Nunya type of thing. You got it right here? Here we go.
Hey, they got something.
Love it. Okay, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, debuting today on the Big Biz Show, the theme song to Nunya. Nunya Business here.
I love it.
From the Loft 100 studios. Perfect, gents. Don't forget this tune, okay? Next time we're together, this is all we're gonna play in and out.
Hey, you know what we missed is your favorite phrase.
Oh.
What, Sully's not here and you don't say your favorite intro?
Yeah, because we love it, but it ticks him off.
Yeah,
so that's why we do it for him. This does not tick us off. He is our Big Biz Show financial analyst, the great Howie Font, with us here to start our show off. Howie, we are in day, is it 9 of the government shutdown? I gotta be honest with you. My life really hasn't changed at all. So I'm like, what? Make it 90 days. No, seriously though, where are we going with this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it is always kind of interesting. I think the last government shutdown a few years ago went like 28 days or something like that.
Yep.
And you don't really. You mostly interact with local government services in your daily life, but there's lots and lots of federal government workers that have their own jobs and they have their own responsibilities, and those are not largely happening right now. What's interesting is we haven't. This has all happened in between pay periods, so there's kind of been no impact on people, but that's going to change on Friday.
So there's what's the deal with like furloughed workers and back pay? Because I'm starting to hear rumblings that in the past when we've had government shutdowns, everybody gets that back pay once they return to work. It may not be happening this time around?
Yeah, so that's the law. The law is once the government's funded, everyone gets paid back. They even get some, not interest, but surcharges placed on. So that's why when we say, it's actually more expensive to shut the government down and then to bring it back on,
right.
There's some switching costs that you have. So it's better for Congress not to do this. But now the Trump administration is saying, hey, listen, this is causing permanent damage. We've got to recover those costs.
Yep.
One of the things we're not going to be able to do is to pay people for the time that the government was shut down. Independent contractors already do not, so only actual government bona fide employees. And they're also saying, listen, the damage might be so bad that we're just going to lay people off during the shutdown and just make some permanent changes so that the burden on the economy, on the government, how low, isn't so low.
Keep it right here. None of your business on the Big Biz Show. Turns after this. Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyentgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
Big Biz Show continues live from the Loft 100 Studios here in Southern California. Hope everyone's having a great day. We appreciate you being along for this crazy ride. That is the Day Trader Quattro, best in the business, no less than self-taught.
Our faves.
As I like to say. Back here at the bar, it's Maribel Godwin and Costa. Sully getting a well-deserved day off today. We bring back in our Big Biz Show financial analyst, Howie Long. Howie Long is a retired NFL Hall of Famer.
Yes, he is.
He's one of my favorite Raiders. And Howie, just take it as a compliment that I called you Howie Long, please.
Understood.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Actually, his name is Howie Font, and he's always with us to open up the Big Biz Show. Howie, I know Mary had some other questions before we kind of move on as far as the government shutdown is concerned.
I got a couple.
Okay.
But one is that, it seems like this president has done some things where he says things off the cuff and they seem, I don't know if they're
psychotic,
real or not. And almost like, the tariffs, they're going to be this big. And he's just kind of trying to mess with people to cause a stir or to whatever. Do you think that his kind of threatening this, like maybe people won't get their back pay or people are going to get laid off, is that real? Is that legitimate? Or do you think he's just trying to make the other side look bad because they're not playing fair?
Yeah, I mean, Sully calls this out all the time. The president asked for a truckload of loaves, and he really only wants half a loaf. Right. That's his style. I don't think it's very credible in this case because, like I said, the law is clear about what's supposed to happen. You're not supposed to fire people. You're supposed to pay back pay. But there have been cases where they just do it and take it to court and see how far they can push it with a different legal interpretation. I don't think that's going to happen in this case. I think it's posturing because this is all a negotiation. They're in a deadlock. Congress has voted 7 times in the last week. No one's changing their position. Some Democrats that were voting to open the government are now saying, well, there's not been enough compromise, so I'm going to actually vote to close now. We're getting worse, farther away than we were.
What are the next steps then? What?
Total anarchy.
I mean, well, what are the next steps? How do people budge on this?
Yeah, so what this is about, the government ran out of money while it was finishing its appropriation process to continue for the next fiscal year at the end of September. In the president's One Big Beautiful Bill earlier this year, they cut some COVID levels of spending for Obamacare subsidies that make healthcare cheaper for some lower wage people that qualify. Now, actually, the wage cap was actually pushed very, very high. You can make a lot of money and get the subsidized healthcare. But the Big Beautiful Bill ended that, and Democrats want to kind of bring back some level. That they've said a lot of different things about what they would accept, so I don't know what their actual negotiating position is. But basically, they're saying this is worth shutting the government over, and Republicans are saying let's do the normal appropriations process. Those subsidies don't run out until December, and we'll negotiate in good faith with you then. And the Democrats are saying we don't believe you. So that's the standoff.
Howie Font is our Big Biz Show market analyst. Howie, the market seems unaffected, though, by a government shutdown. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, it's really amazing. I mean, it just seems so counterintuitive that the largest organization in the largest economy on the planet shuts down, and the government and the market is like, huh? What's happening here? They're at all-time highs, no worries. In fact, they're up today on some news that I think is concerning. In response to the tariffs, China has been restricting its exports of rare earth minerals. We need those for all sorts of things, EV batteries, for example. And so the U.S. is looking now, the White House is looking to partner with the U.S. mining companies. And so a bunch of those stocks are up big. So that just pushes the market even higher, yeah.
So, you mentioned rare earth minerals and things like that. Do you have a timetable? And I kind of put you on the spot because I don't know if you were going to talk about this today, but, part of our deal with Ukraine and backing them up and stuff is also access to, they are a country rich with rare earth minerals. Have we started trucking that stuff in yet? Or when's that going to happen?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a fund that will have a commitment for basically U.S. capital to invest and get ownership over some of the mining companies that will be developed for those resources. Okay. And then there will be a revenue split. Basically, the U.S. will get some share and Ukraine will get some share, but none of that stuff kicks in until after the war. That's just a commitment that was made to continue U.S. support for Ukraine.
Tell us about the financial shenanigans with the poly market. Big investment, huh?
Yeah, this is crazy. So the NYSE, I think it's been around for over 200 years. The beating heart of New York City. They put in basically they bought 25% of poly market that we talk about all the time. It's a little less than that. The reports are it's an $8 billion or $9 billion valuation, but they put $2 billion into poly market. And that's the company that lets you bet on basically anything, including the government shutdown. I mean, yeah.
Is that
you can literally bet, will it be 9 days, will it be 10 days, 11? Yeah.
Wow.
So it would be like Mary and you and I going to the board of directors at, I don't know, MGM and saying, hey, we want to invest in your casinos and all that stuff. Isn't that basically the same thing that the NYSE is doing with poly market?
Well, that's exactly right. And it's kind of the barrier between outright gambling and investing is kind of being eroded here a little bit.
Oh, my God.
With companies, you're buying a piece of the company when you buy a share of stock. You expect the company to grow. You have information that, so you are taking risk. But, in the long term, I think it's wholly rational. But these NYSE, Intercontinental Exchange is the company that owns the NYSE. They make markets. They want people to be trading back and forth. They want people to be gambling. So this is actually competition for things like DraftKings, I think, in a lot of ways. I mean,
it really is.
That just seems really crazy for me to say, but picture any event. I mean, if you remember when cabinet members were first being picked earlier in the year, we were betting on is Rubio going to get this position? Is Matt Gates going to be Attorney General? No, it's Bondi. Oh, wow, 30 extra money if you picked Pam Bondi. I mean, I find it really intriguing.
I mean, we could bet on who the next pope was going to be.
Yep.
And being an American, I think that was a massive long shot. But you could basically bet on anything. So an investment with the poly market from then, is that just to reap the rewards of something that is very, very popular right now? Is it to make poly market bigger and stronger? What's the end game?
Yeah, I think it's the incumbents, the big, rich, kind of slow growth, mature companies. I mean, NYSE was not growing anymore, right? I mean, it kind of we kind of know what it does. So it's a stable business, and they want to buy some growth. So this is an area that they can expand into. It's very logical, but it's what they do, but it's very different at the same time, which is why I think it's so interesting. We've gone from, in the last couple of years, trades taking 3 days to settle. So you buy Apple stock on Monday, it's not really in your account until Wednesday. And that has to shrink. We're probably going to go to 24-hour trading, and now we can basically trade ideas. So it's very interesting.
I.e. intellectual property, right? Type of thing.
Hey, Howie, before we let you go, did I read that Polymarket was banned in the U.S. at one point?
Yeah, originally this was not something that was allowed, but they bought another company that had a license, and it's kind of backdooring them back in. They've been preparing for years to get back in.
Hey, they said at one point no professional sports in Las Vegas. And now look. Howie Font, Big Biz Show market analyst. Always great to talk with him. We're back after this. Don't go anywhere. Big Biz Show rolls on. We are live from the Loft 100 studios in sunny Southern California. The Big Biz Show is brought to you by the great folks at Prudential. Let Prudential be the rock in your life. I think that's how that goes. A bear, it is not aspirin, as I found out the hard way. The great people at Starbucks, everybody in this whole studio is hopped up on it today. We have a special guest with us, and we had Starbucks in the green room. Of course, the family of Blooming Brands restaurants, including Outback Steakhouse. Mary, why is Outback Steakhouse one of our favorites?
Because they got the bloomin' onions on the side of the road.
And authentic Australian food, and of course, Taylor Guitars.
The best.
We had the pleasure of having this gentleman in studio with us last week, and he was so impressive, and we got such a great feedback, not only from viewers and listeners, but our network bean counters. They said, get Aaron Day back in studio, the CEO of Amaze, and of course their ticker symbol is AMZE, and he is back with us.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing, my friend?
Welcome back,
Thank you.
Aaron.
M squared. That's my new name for you two. M
Perfect.
I like it.
It's nice because we get called so much worse. So I will take M squared.
The last time you were here, I had so many questions, and the segment ended. So I'm so excited you're back.
Let's get it. You want to get into the weeds a little bit?
I do,
Okay.
actually. I get this is stuff I get nerdy about. Sometimes on the show, I'm not so able to get nerdy about this stuff, but this topic I'm very interested in. So yeah.
Let's start at the beginning for people who might be just tuning in the very first time. Give us somewhat of the nickel version of what Amaze is all about.
So, if you have a social media app on your phone, you probably have seen the opportunity to buy something on your phone.
Okay.
And we are one of the global leaders in providing the software that allows for social commerce, e-commerce to happen on those social media apps.
Okay.
So if you're sitting at home watching football on YouTube, if you're watching something on TikTok, if you're watching something on Twitch, gaming platform, whatever, you're on a Discord server, all those buying experiences you see in those platforms are either coming from us or coming from a few other tech companies around the world.
Okay. Now, if let's say you mentioned, I go down YouTube wormholes all the time.
Okay, yeah.
Huge waste of time. Sorry. I get taught, I just start spiraling down, and pretty soon 3 hours have gone by. Do those channels have to, or does YouTube have to work in concert with you at Amaze? So if I'm watching your video and let's say I see the vest you're wearing, and I want to buy that, is there have to be an agreement in place or some sort of technology involved where I can click on it or it just pops up? I'm so dumb, and she talked about being in the weeds. Give me how that happened.
Okay, so we're very proud that we were the first to partner with YouTube. So YouTube has this platform called Buy on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, so and a little bit of history there. So a lot of the American social media platforms over the last 3 or 4 years realized that they needed to keep up with some of the Asian social media platforms, and so they started adding after the fact buying experiences, selling experiences.
Gotcha.
And so YouTube, for example, launched Buy on YouTube. We were the first integrated partner And what happens is, as YouTube looks at all the millions and millions of people creating content on their platform, when you hit certain thresholds, YouTube goes, you're qualified.
Oh.
Okay, you're qualified. You can now be a seller on our platform. And what they allow you to do then is go in, Amaze will pop up as a software opportunity, and now you can create a store. And it can be a listing. I could sell one product. I could put a water bottle on there and sell just one thing. I could sell a whole e-commerce store can be integrated. But it's integrated on what they call the product shelf. So if you open up any YouTube channel on the home page, anybody you like, you look across and you see home video, you see, and then at the very right, you'll see store.
Okay.
And if that store button pops up, there's only a couple, 3 or 4 companies globally that have the software integration with YouTube. So you can't just be anyone wanting to sell something on YouTube. You have to be connected with a software partner who has the integration.
You connect with the actual business. So let's say, for example, here on Big Biz Show, we have a YouTube, we show the episodes on YouTube.
Yep.
Let's say we want to feature some of the products. Municipal comes in with their sweatshirts, and we want to say add their sweatshirts to our store.
Absolutely.
If we've been approached by YouTube because we've reached the threshold of how many viewers we have?
You don't have to be approached.
Okay.
It's all something self-serve. So once you, and I looked on your shows, all have enough audiences, you're eligible. You just have to go into the admin panel, select add a store feature, pick Amaze, takes like 3 minutes.
Okay.
And now you have the ability to add a store on your product shelf.
Wow.
Then you now have, once you have Amaze launched, you can use Amaze's store builder to go in, and every show you have, you could actually have a new product listed on the product shelf. So as you're creating that content, so Mike could be wearing something, streaming video, and it becomes live shoppable because we're integrated now with the YouTube channel.
So, and he's not even necessarily selling the sweater. It's just that he's wearing it.
I am.
People are like, I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like, the show is not about, this latest gadget on my phone, but this could be something on the shop because people see it on here and think that it's cool.
Yeah, but
right?
but if you ever go to your YouTube channel and you watch the comments, there'll be somebody who goes, "Ooh, I like Mary's blouse.
Right.
I like what she. How do I buy that?"
Yes, right.
And if the comment says, "Hey, I like Mary's blouse," there's no reason why Mary's blouse can't just become shoppable right then and there, right?
Right.
And that's what's happening. And if you're at home watching, Amazon, right? You'll notice on Amazon little boxes popping up now, like, would you like to buy this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all integrated, and we are one of the first companies to build that integrated software.
Aaron Day is the CEO of Amaze, their ticker symbol AMZE. So, I mean, how far ahead of the game were you? I mean, were you thinking about this a long time ago? Like, hey, this is missing, and I think I've got the team and the platform that we can make some big waves with it?
So we were. It's a question, and it's a bit painful for me. So I'm gonna give you the good and the bad.
Oh, we love pain on the show.
Okay,
we're all about pain.
Yeah, give it to us.
So I think we talked about this last time I was here. So I was one of the first sort of global business executives at Canva, and part of my job at Canva was thinking about how you got a design software in all these platforms.
Okay.
And as we were meeting with all these platforms, they were like, Aaron, we love that idea, but we'd really like to have an integrated commerce platform. You look what's happening in China, look what's happening with ByteDance and Baidu and all these platforms.
Right.
So we started doing it. And when we launched the company 4 years ago.
Wow.
And we took off like a rocket ship. I mean, we took off like, it went from like 0 to, 100 miles an hour very quickly. The problem we had was we got into the middle of 2023, and the creator economy, which is the predominant market that we're in, the private investor world went to sleep. It was terrible. I mean, funding dried up, and we're just not one of those companies that's going to grow by 10% a year if we're at full throttle. I mean, we can turn throttle up and have 10,000 creators a day signing up.
Jeez.
With at no cost, right? Wow. So we were ahead of the curve. Now you see people catching up, but we were built to be integrated.
Okay.
So think about Shopify. Shopify is an amazing
That's
company.
exactly what I was thinking.
I love Shopify. Amazing company. But Shopify was built many, many years ago to be a standalone e-commerce platform. And their monetization is based on processing fees, checkout fees, app services, things like that, right? We're built to keep you on a platform. I'm watching Mike. I like Mike. I don't want to leave and go buy something and come back, right? I want to be able to buy one.
It'll be gone by the time you.
Yeah.
Everybody likes Mike. Everyone loves Aaron Day, CEO of Amaze, ticker symbol AMZE. We're going to keep him over because there's a lot more weeds Mary wants to get into as far as this company and the rocket ship that it is. Keep it right here. Much more to come with the Big Biz Show right after this.
Loft 100 Studios, the Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks. If we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at Solientgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
In over 175 countries and all the ships at sea, you can hear us on the American Forces Radio Network. As always, a special shout out to the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces for what they do, what they have done for us. That was quickly the day trader Quattro. Back here at the bar, it's Costa. It's Marybert Godwin, and he has quickly become one of our favorites. Aaron Day, the CEO of Amaze. Their ticker symbol is AMZE, connecting creators to 1.7 billion fans worldwide. You know,
that's a big number, isn't it?
That's a huge number. And I remember, it's like, oh my God, that guy made $1 million. And now you're hearing about, oh, that guy made $1 billion. And a billion, over 1 billion people. I mean, that's a lot of stadiums you can fill up with 1 billion people.
It's like 8 Americas, right?
That's a great way to describe it. All right, I promised you weeds. You get to go weeds with Aaron Day.
I've got a question. Okay, last time you were on, we talked about the difference between content creators and influencers, and that they're very different, right? Can you talk a little bit more about content creators and do they need to have like the newest and greatest equipment and microphones and ring lights and all the things to do what they need to do?
So
that was 2 questions. Sorry.
Okay, let's answer the second question first. So the content creators' dependency on equipment and the platform, it really depends on the platform, right? So if I'm creating long form content for YouTube, then I want a professional setting. I want professional lighting, camera, voiceover, all that kind of stuff. If I'm creating 15-second reels for Instagram or TikTok, my mobile phone's good enough, right? And you'll actually see in a lot of the studios with TikTok, they're actually using an iPhone to capture the content, right?
Yep.
So you have accessibility to create content. What level, what amount of, and then there's great software out there today from Adobe and other places where you can actually go out and edit the software.
Right.
Edit the content.
Edit the content, yeah. But people might feel a little intimidated by it, but it's really accessible now because you can just do it on your phone.
It's really accessible.
Get a ring light on Amazon.
Look, I mean, Morgan Stanley came out, Goldman Sachs came out. They think the number is between 300 and 450 million people globally. I think the number is way higher. I think that, just watch kids on Roblox today. They're creating content.
Sure.
They're growing up in a world where they're creating and interacting content creation, right? The number of people creating content and monetizing content over the next 10 to 20 years, it's going to be a huge portion of the population.
Well, just think about the kids you see doing this every day.
Yeah.
Boom, right there. That's going somewhere. Yeah. They're not just doing it to go back and look at themselves.
And they monetize.
Yes.
Every day you see somebody else getting 20 million likes on some stupid little thing that they did, and they're monetizing.
Mm-hmm. This is not stupid, though. Tell us about the activation at Adobe Max coming up at the end of October up in LA.
Okay, so probably in the last 12 months, one of my proudest moments as a CEO was...
Aside from being on the show?
Aside from being on the show.
Okay, just making sure.
Was sort of the validation of Adobe. Okay, so last October of 2024, we integrated Adobe into Amaze's software to use their generative AI tools. Okay. So we realized, look, creating content's not easy. Creating product content's even harder because, hey, I can create a video with my phone, but I want to create something somebody's going to want to buy.
Yeah.
So getting Adobe integrated into our platform, but as soon as we did it, their MAUs surged because they had access to our millions and millions of creators and fans, right?
Okay.
So they were very happy. So then they came back around and said, hey, we're launching this new product called Adobe Add-on. And what Adobe Add-on is sort of like a next generation of an app store. So if I'm using Adobe Express today, so think about this. I mean, Adobe doesn't publicly announce how many millions of users they have of Adobe Express. It's a lot.
Yeah, sure.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's probably nearing 9 figures if I were to guess, right? You're in Adobe Express today, anyone in the world, and you're designing something, and you go over to that little button to download a PDF, and there's a little button you see there called Amaze, and within 30 seconds, you can take that design and you can sell it.
No way.
You can sell it, yeah. So.
Oh my God.
So what's happened is that we integrated that in the spring of this year in Adobe, and what's going to happen at the end of the month up in LA is the Adobe Max Conference. It's the biggest event of the year for Adobe. They bring in thousands of people. It's a huge event. Well, we have a substantial booth there, but you're going to come into our booth and you're going to see this entire flow from creation to monetization. There's something like
we should follow them there.
There's a creator testimonial where you come in and you talk to somebody and tell them your problems as a creator, right? There's the experience boost. There's the monetization boost. But the most beautiful thing is Adobe starts to promote the idea globally that within 30 seconds, anything you design can be monetized.
Wow.
And so that's why as the world learns about our company, I think the potential is just unstoppable because we are capturing people at the point of visualization, content creation, inspiration, and letting them monetize without having to know anything about monetization, anything about creating a store. Boom, that happens.
Aaron Day is the CEO of Amaze. Ticker symbol is AMZE. You're going to have your own rocket ship one time soon, right?
Yeah.
Elon, Bezos, and now you going into space. I can see it. Quickly, we've got only a couple minutes left, Aaron, and as Sully would say, and I know I echo the sentiment, you're a whole show. We got to have you back in studio, and you were just the whole show. And you're right, we have to do a busy mentoring on Amaze.
I know. I'm sending Devin. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Someone's not here, so I'm taking over.
You had big news last time. You can actually talk about it now. Talk about the acquisition of Food Channel.
So we're just about done wrapping up. We publicly announced an LOI, but we're just about done wrapping up the purchase of the Food Channel. Our teams are already working on the software, the integration. Think. Here's the high-level visual of what this is going to become. You're a content creator on Amaze. You have a channel on YouTube. You have a channel on Instagram. Whatever. You're creating content. You're starting to build a following base. You now want to go from having a community of followers to a full live brand. And if you think about what happens today is you go on YouTube and you fight the millions and millions and millions of other people creating content.
Yep.
Well, now, if you're one of the, I think we have 62,000 food creators on Amaze, something like that. If you're one of those people and we say, hey, by the way, as you accelerate, we can take your content and put it on a dedicated channel on Food Channel. So now you can go to foodchannel.com and you can see the next generation of a cake war, next generation of how to make a pizza, whatever you want to see, right? Whatever, anywhere around the world. So what we're excited about is that we're going to take all of our technology and we're going to take the Food Channel from a sort of a static website that allows you to go in and view content to a social media platform. So it'll be a full functional social media platform.
Wow.
And it won't take long. The tech's already built.
Can you sign up for a grocery list on the side and be like, I want to make this?
You will be able to do that. Yes.
Whoa. Yeah. This is incredible.
Now think about this. So if you're a grocery store, let's say I'm not going to one of the many grocery stores out there, right? And you want to start to think about how to attract the buyer. You now have people producing content about how to create something, how to make something, and within seconds you can just buy that and you can have it delivered to your home. And while you're still watching the video, the material showing up to cook what you want to cook because you're watching this stuff. That's what's happening in the world. Now, we're not the first to do this, but what we will do differently than everyone else is we're not going to pay an enormous amount to get that content because we have so much content already. So all of a sudden overnight, the Food Channel will have more live content than you can imagine. Right? So.
Wow.
Aaron Day, the company is Amaze. He is the CEO. Amaze is so right.
I know, right?
So right
Perfect
from the name
title.
of this company. AMZE is their ticker symbol. You'll be back in studio with us very, very soon. Like I said, for a whole show.
Thanks, Mike.
There's a lot more weeds involved.
Yeah, good.
All right, keep it right here. Much more to come with the Big Biz Show right after this. Do not go anywhere. Big Biz Show continues live in the Loft 100 studios here in beautiful sunny Southern California. That is the Day Trader Quattro DTC. Easy for me to say.
I didn't think it was Q for a long time.
Quattro. Back here at the bar, it is Costa and Marybird Godwin Sully getting a well-deserved day off. Joining us right now, he is one of our favorite guests. He is a much sought-after keynote speaker. Also the author of Future-Proofing Your Business, Real-Life Strategies, Prepare Your Business for Tomorrow and Today. Also, The Naked Entrepreneur, A Millionaire's Journey from Fear to True Wealth. The great Troy Hazard is back with us here on the Big Biz Show. Troy, my friend, how are you?
I'm great, mate. How you doing?
We are living the life, as I say, living a dream, surviving a nightmare. Troy, tell me about my number as far as me wanting to retire and what that's all about.
And how to get there.
Yeah, look, it's a subject that we don't spend a lot of time on. And the reason I wanted to talk about it today was I had a fabulous lunch with some great mates on Sunday, and we were talking about this subject. And then, strangely enough, I've had the same conversation with 3 or 4 people since then. And I think it's probably because we're all getting a bit old.
Yes, we are.
We got a little bit more of a consciousness about it. But the interesting thing that I went away from those conversations and decided to do a bit more research. The average American only has $148,000 in their 401k. Now, that's in itself a little frightening.
Yep.
But when you extrapolate that out and you think that the average American between the age of 54 and 65 only has $271,000 in their 401k, and the average person who retires at 63 lives for another 18 to 20 years.
Yep.
Kind of has to go a bit of a way before you run out. And I think a lot of Americans don't stop and think about this as they plan for their future because, everyone plods along, and as long as you've got enough to feed the family and maybe put the kids through college and go on a bit of a holiday, everyone's happy. But we don't plan enough for that rainy day, that thing we weren't expecting, or we might actually even live a bit longer than we expect.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the right age to start thinking about this stuff? Because I wish I had paid more attention in my 20s when the subject of 401k came out. But, you think it's so far away. And then all of a sudden, wait, I just blinked and now I'm at this age where I wish I had paid attention more younger.
I think we go through different iterations of the thought of what we want to end up with when we're done. In my 20s, it was millions and millions. In my 30s, it was, what will make me comfortable? In my 40s, it was, look, I could probably try a bit harder. And in my 50s, I've gone, that's probably enough. And then at 62, I know exactly what that number looks like. And it's a lot less than it was when I was 20 because I was a tad more ambitious. And I think as we get a bit older, we are more focused on it and we're a little bit more realistic about what that needs to be.
Troy, is it a generational thing? Because I've got a father, and God bless him, he is still with us. He's 93 years old. He never did anything with his money but save it. and interest just compounded. And now, if you fell off his wallet, he'd break his neck. And God bless him. He took care of his family, but he really didn't do anything with his money. That's almost the Depression generation. The kids who grew up with nothing and had to kind of come through it. Is it generational with that as far as saving is concerned?
Well, I think it is, because look back at my generation, it was pay off the house, put the kids through school, take your wife on a holiday, and have enough to buy a beer on a Friday. That was pretty much the whole concept of retirement. But again, different horses for different courses, and the whole concept of having a bucket load of money like your dad, or having enough in another another world, really boils down to what you want to leave as a legacy. The concept of dying penniless is sometimes seen as being a bad thing. I think it's just good timing. And at the end of the day, we've changed our view on that over the years as well. I was that guy who wanted to have a big nest egg for the kid. And then our view has changed a little bit in the last couple of years, where we're more about making memories with the kids than we are leaving them that big chunk of money. We'll make sure they're comfortable, but I want to leave this world having great memories with the family, and I don't mind investing in that process. So my legacy has changed over the years. I'm sure many people have a different view as they get a bit older, but it's about being conscious about what you want that to look like.
Troy Hazard, keynote speaker, author. TroyHazard.com is the website. Check him out. Troy, you talk about us getting older and having different outlooks on life and stuff, and not being indestructible, I think, is really kind of that, oh God, stuff is starting to hurt. It's not only the washing machine that's breaking down, I'm breaking down as well. And it's another thing you never think about when you're 21, 25, or 30.
Well, your biggest pain when you're in your 20s and 30s is how big the hangover is going to be when you get up on a Saturday.
No doubt.
Yeah. And look, now, I used to leap out of bed in my 20s at 3:30 and go to work and want to really take on the world. Now I've got to lie in bed and talk myself into standing up for the first 10 minutes. It's an evolution as you get older. But yes, things break, and you've got to be really mindful of your health and be aware of how that may impact your retirement or the latter years in life, and make sure you've got a provision for it to not find yourself in a worse position because you haven't thought it through.
Well, Troy, I don't know if you had this conversation with yourself. I'm seeming to have it more and more. Mary, I don't know if you're having it well, but it's you hit the word legacy, but it's also, what is the impact I left? What will the impact be when I leave? And I don't know if it's necessarily a monetary thing, but it's just one of those mindsets where, hey, maybe I did give a lot of my money away. Maybe I did end it penniless because I gave it all away and I gave it to charity and I made other people's lives better.
It's very personal, and it certainly has been for me over the years. And as I said, my focus has shifted as I've got older, and I want to spend more time at home and more time with the kids as they grow up before they leave the nest and we don't see them as often. So everyone's got to have their own personal plan that surrounds that as to what they want that to look like. But I'd encourage everyone to consider what might get in the road of that. The unexpected wedding, the unexpected divorce, the unexpected incarceration, things that you hadn't put into that personal plan that may actually get in the way of how far you thought that dollar might go for you at the end of the day.
Troy, 30 seconds or less. It's never too late, though, right, to start thinking in a better mindset, even if you are 55 or 60 years old, about that next 15, 20 years?
No, not at all. Look, Colonel Sanders, KFC, great success story, didn't start until his 60s. I was having conversations this week with guys who are 50 and 60 years of age, and they're on their next adventure to try and compensate for those things they may have not focused on or in their career that they now feel they might need to get them through that retirement. So it's a personal journey, but it's about making a conscious effort to really think it through.
Troy Hazard, keynote speaker extraordinaire, author, The Naked Entrepreneur, future-proofing your business, and one of our favorites on the show because we are always smarter after talking with them. Troy, appreciate the visit, my friend. And appreciate all of you watching this show. It is the end. For Mary Godwin, The Date, Trader Quattro, everybody who works here and makes this show possible, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on The Big Biz Show.